Hello and welcome to Living Lamb's Vegan Kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to make a soup I've been eating a lot lately. It's really delicious and it's very easy. It's practically just assembly. So it looks like I've got a lot of ingredients, but it's super easy. So I'm making mine in an Instant Pot. You can just as easily make it on the stove. Basically it's 2 cups of water. Just pour the water into your Instant Pot. And I'm calling this a gumbo because it has okra, but that's about the only gumbo thing about it. So anyway, 2 cups of water, 1 pound bag of okra, about 1/4 of a cup, and this is heaping 1/4 of a cup, of diced onions. And you can put more in if you want. There's no real magic there. I have about 4 cloves of garlic diced. You could use more or less, depending on how much you like or don't like garlic. And 1/2 can of beans. I'm using pintos today, but you can use any kind of beans you like. And of course, you could use more beans if you wanted to use more beans. A 1/2 of a jar of tomato paste. This is my favorite tomato paste. It's Bio Nature. It's really delicious, and you can use any tomato paste, but this just happens to be my favorite brand. And just plop that right in there. And then I'm using some jalapenos. I didn't put these in the first time I made this, and you don't need them. I just happened to get them on sale, so I bought a whole bunch of them, so I'm using them. So I'm using, about a teaspoon of jalapenos, totally optional. And that's all the ingredients for now that go actually into the soup. So I'm going to put the lid on my Instant Pot, make sure it's set to seal, and I'm going to put it on for 5 minutes, which is all that it takes. And leaving it on manual. And then what I'm going to do, and usually I do this when I dish it up, but since I'm showing you all this now, I will do it now. What I do in my bowl for the seasoning of the soup is I use some miso, and this is my favorite miso, is Miso Master Organic, the sweet white miso. I really love it. It's a little bit less sodium, so it has a little bit more flavor. At least I think so. And didn't realize I finished it up last time I used it. And I put like a heaping teaspoon of miso in there. And then I put about 2 tablespoons of vinegar in the bowl. And I use a spoon to emulsify the miso into the vinegar. If you just put a big gob of miso and a whole lot of liquid, you'll never get it smooth because it's so thick. So you just need to use, a small amount of liquid to emulsify your miso into. And even when we add the soup, I'm just going to add a little bit of soup to this miso mixture, stir it around, and then add the rest of the soup. And that's kind of how you want to mess with miso. And the way you just emulsify, you sort of mash it around in there until all the miso's kind of flattened out in part of it. If you've got a couple small lumps, it doesn't really matter that much. Oh yeah, thank you very much. The vinegar I use balsamic vinegar, and since I'm showing you all my favorite things today, this is my favorite balsamic vinegar. It's Monari Federzoni, and it's just the organic balsamic vinegar. It's really delicious. It's never sharp. It's just a really nice vinegar. So that's emulsified in there pretty well. There's not going to be a big giant lump of miso in my soup when I go to eat it. I rinse my hands. And then the seasonings I use are mustard powder, and I use about 1/4 of a teaspoon of mustard powder, and about 1/8 of a teaspoon of turmeric, and about 1/8 of a teaspoon of smoked paprika. And then I've just got this organic ground veggie blend from BJ's, but basically this is pepper. So, and then add some pepper to it. And then what we'll do is we'll wait until the soup is done, and we'll add it to this, and that is all it takes to make this soup. And it is out of this world, or this gumbo, if you want to call it that. One thing I'll say about the gumbo is, for real gumbo, it has rice. So if you wanted to cook yours with rice, you can do that. Just add extra water, however much water you would cook the rice, and add that as extra water. Put your rice right in there, but don't add the tomato paste, because that'll keep the rice from cooking properly. So add extra water, add your rice, and then at the end, when you go to dish up your soup, then stir in the tomato paste. But you just don't want the tomato product and the rice cooking at the same time. So anyway, I'll see you when this is all done. What I'm going to do is this is going to cook, go through its cycle in the Instant Pot, and then I'm just going to let it sit until dinner. So it's just going to sit in the Instant Pot for an hour and a half. And then I'll dish it up and we'll be back. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. And welcome back. And the soup has been done for, I don't know, about an hour or so, and the pin's down, so it's good. So I'm going to take the lid off. And one of the things I forgot to mention about the soup, and you can see it in the pot before it's stirred, is it's got several things that make it rich and creamy without having to use thickeners like flour or emulsifiers like oil or, cream-based things or anything like that. Because what you've got is you've got miso that thickens things, and you've got tomato paste that thickens things, and you've got whatever it is in beans that tends to thicken things. It looks watery now, but just wait. And then you've got the goo, for want of a better word, and okra that makes things creamy. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to stir it up here.
Spoon rice.
And, oh, yes, one thing I wanted to mention, when I was telling you if you wanted to cook, rice in there with it, which you can certainly do, of course you'll want to increase the cooking time to whatever amount of time you need to cook the rice. So if you cook with rice, besides using the extra water and besides not using the tomato paste, you want to increase the cooking time. So I just put a little bit of the liquid in here, and I'm just going to emulsify it mix it into the miso stuff, so that once you get that much in there, now you can just add the rest of the soup. But it just keeps the miso from glopping around. And this is too hot to eat right now. But what will happen is as it cools, it will become a little bit thick. And you can still see, it's like a little bit rich. I mean, considering it doesn't really have anything in it but, water and vegetables, basically. And it gets, it'll get thicker as it sits, and it's absolutely delicious. And I call it gumbo because it's got okra and tomato paste and stuff, but, obviously it is not authentic gumbo. But it's wonderful, it's thick, creamy, fabulous for winter, full of vegetables, no fat, vegan, no dairy, no flour. Absolutely wonderful. Enjoy it. Thanks for watching.